So spirit guides, again, I like that because I think they're helpful throughout the rest of the journey. And again, I know many of you know chakras, and this is probably going to be just repeating a lot, but there's a reason for like the way that we're kind of moving through the system. So to be okay with like revisiting this, and I just want to get into a place that we're not going like super fast through the chakras like in the other programs because it's just kind of an overview. We're here. I would just want to do a little bit of a deeper dive because the spirit guides are going to help us kind of see things that we don't understand, right? So, like, even just me being able to categorize the spirit guides, it's because like my spirit guide was like, oh, pay attention to this guide, like, this is a thing. So things that I've never read in a book, nobody's ever told me, nobody's ever taught me. Like, I also like to practice with chakras because it is the beginning of developing that focus to be able to read other things. Like, so ultimately, like getting into the Akashic records, you need to be able to hold a focus. Sometimes you'll see like cords or certain wounds in certain areas that like may not make sense this lifetime, but if you talk to the person, you may find out that it might come from somewhere else. But for the most part, the chakra gives you a very good like a screenshot of like where that person is right now in this time. I can go read them 6 months from now and take another screenshot and it'll look very different. So that's why the clarity reading that we offer in the Nikki Novo company, the clarity reading is the chakra read because it's like, oh, this is what's going on with me. Like, this is like all this stuff that I can't put words into. Like, this is what you just told me. And yeah, it's cool to read other people for sure, but I think it's a great tool for ourselves as well. And it's a good tool to help us develop that focus. The bottom three, the solar plexus here in this photo, it's like showing a little high, but it's actually a little bit lower and it's really like on the stomach. It's just above the belly button kind of, or maybe this person just has a high waist. I don't know. But the solar plexus, like, it's yellow. This is, um, self-esteem, self-worth, feeling like strong, feeling like I can do this. If this chakra could talk, it would say, I can do it. Like, that's a well-balanced solar plexus. It's also our identity. So the solar plexus is one of the centers that has like the most amount of cords because if I'm if I, for instance, like before I left my work, before I started doing this work, I was a editor for many years, a fashion editor. And when I was leaving Refinery 29, I felt very like I had no identity. Or even right now, right? I'm like moving from Miami to North Carolina. My identity is caught up in Miami. My identity was caught up in being a fashion editor. So when you take that away from me, in a way, it's like you're taking a piece of my solar plexus, which really my identity should be in my soul and my spirit, but I'm a human and I identify with things outside of myself sometimes. And that's why like changing is so scary sometimes. It's really because of the identity portion. It's like where if when my kids grow up and they leave the house, I'll probably have a hard time with it because I identify with being a mother. And if all of a sudden I'm not a mother, then who am I? So the solar plexus shows a lot of identity stuff too. So if a person's like having a hard time to like move, and that's when actually it's interesting is that a lot of the things that are showing up here, they manifest in the body. So if somebody's having a hard time with that, they'll become like constipated or something because it's like stuck energy. And they can't like move to the next stage. So we'll see that in the solar. The solar is also connected to the mind a lot. Like, you'll see some of these chakras like connect to others because the stomach is connected to it's like the second brain. The gut is the second brain. So a lot of times if you're looking at a person from, which is why I like to start from the top, because the brain to me has like so much information. That crown and third eye, like I see, so much there. So if the person is like trying to um if their thoughts are so negative, there's like a connection between like the way they're thinking and the way they're feeling about their self-esteem, and even sometimes the way they're eating. So sometimes like clearing up the way they're eating is going to help them think better, and then all of a sudden they feel stronger. So there's like this really interesting loop that you'll find with the solar plexus and the mind. And that's it. Those are the three we're going to focus on today. We're just going to but when a person says they're like healing so the chakras are always evolving. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, sure, we're always looking for them to be balanced, but when I read them, I'm not like obsessed with them like coming into balance. I'm more interested in the information that's like in them. People say when people say they're healing them, they're trying to find like a balance within it. And what they have to do is like they have to find the information that is in that chakra, like whatever is causing like the imbalance, and then like work through the imbalance. But I don't know. I don't think that that's like something we want to like. I think that that can kind of go a little to the deep end of thinking that if I heal myself completely, I'll be perfect and
Mhm.
then I'll be
Mhm.
loved. So I stay away from feeling like all chakras must be like perfectly
Yeah.
balanced. I think that we can, healing can become like an addiction of like looking for perfectionism. So, and then just kind of get that information that's in there.
So